Frank, my boy Mac behind the cameras there. Today I want to take you through on a little journey, you know. A lot of people could probably relate and learn a few lessons from this one, because the one thing that we do have as people is we have strength, we have character. But along the way, this strength can become our weakness. Because growing up in five boys, you know, it's like a gypsy family, innit, man? It's like everyone's battling for that one title, you know. You have to swing it out once in a while, you know. It's all love, though, you know what I mean? So, you know, no matter what me and my brothers went through, you know, the strength that we had for each other was always there, you know what I mean? If I was in trouble, my brothers were in trouble, and vice versa. Like, we had each other's backs. So my brothers never really called upon me in life, even though I was their strength. But it was only if situations got bad and they needed my help, then so be it. But kind of like doing what I did in life kind of gave them a little smoother path in life, you know. They didn't have to go through what I went through. They didn't have to damage their life the way I did, because they had that security, you know. You were Big Frank's brothers and brothers. Like, they were nice. But we don't always see eye to eye, but I got mad love for my brothers, you know. Yes, and definitely don't see eye to eye all the time, but I got love for them because they never encouraged me to do any of the things I did. They tried to get me involved minimally, you know. Only if they really couldn't handle it, they got me involved. So like, I respect them more than, like, sometimes I even tell them, you know, like, they fully held me down, you know. They're the reason why I am the man I am today. And that's because my strength was never used as a weakness. It was used as a building block to strengthen what we had, and to strengthen that me as a man. But it wasn't always smooth sailing with them, you know. I started to realise my weakness, being the oldest of the five growing up, because our lives took different journeys. They took the academic route. All of them are successful, beyond successful, and like, I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. They just avoided that path, you know. My life became a book of lessons. You know, there was pages that they could ride back to. If they ever thought about something, let me go through Frank's page here. You know, they could read about it. It's not for me. Not for me. Not for me. My little brother told me, my little brother Sam, who's R.I.P., he told me I saved his life. And I said to him, how? He said to me, certain things I've did taught him that he was not ready for this. And I sit down and I think to myself, it's like somebody had to be the sacrifice in our family in order to open the doors to a better life for the rest of us. And like, I don't like to say that, oh, well, I had to do that road, but like, it's worked out that like that. But being that sacrifice has kind of created a little gap between that brotherly bond that we had growing up, where, you know, we were like the Jackson 5, so close, you know. They knew everything I was gonna do. I knew everything they were gonna do. Like, we were perfect. As we grew, like, my life started to become more and more like of an irritation to where my brothers were going. You know, it become more of a hindrance because they would be outside and you're hearing about your brother doing this, your brother's doing this, or people were praising your brother for nonsense. But the thing is, they're hearing things that they're not really meant to be hearing. You know what I mean? They're meant to be saluting their brother. I've got a bigger brother. That's my bigger brother. He's the role model. He's the, you know, he's the game changer for us. You know, he's the man I want to be like. But that became my weakness, because I became the weakness of the five. I was the strongest, but I became the weakness. Because being strong in battle compared to being strong in life, two different things. What they've dealt with in life and situations they've dealt with, cases they've dealt with, case studies, clients, this and that. My head is even lost. I wouldn't know where to start. What I've been through on the streets, like, there's nothing I could teach them. That's why I say I became a weakness. Because now I'm the oldest, but I feel like a student in a class. And all my brothers are the teachers. They've got so much to teach me. It's like I have to turn to them on how to live life again. You know? I was the one who's meant to be that guy for them, you know what I mean? And then now I looked up to them a bit. You see, so growing up, running around, getting accolades for rubbish. Couldn't get me accolades amongst my brothers. Couldn't get me accolades in life. You know? My brothers loved me. They respected me. Yeah, they had that little era where, like, yeah, big friend. But the thing is, when you really grow up and focus on your life, Big Frank means shit all, mate. They just want a brother that is doing well for himself. You know? A brother that, you know, they can feel safe around. A brother that, you know, they got kids that you don't mind leaving your kids around. Because when I'm in the game and I'm deep in the game, you can't leave your kids with me. Because I couldn't even leave myself with me because it's that risky. You know? I didn't know what was... people are worried about tomorrow. I couldn't even tell you what's happening in half an hour. Do you know what I mean? Life got a bit chaotic at stages of my life. So it like, what I thought was strengths, like, it's only strengths in the streets. In the real world, it's not strengths, bro. It's a lot of weaknesses because we have to start life again in order to go forward again. You know, the years that you put into there, you can't start life from there, because that CV can only get you employment in the street. It can't get you employment in the real world. So we have to go back again, rewrite the CV, and start from the beginning. It's like you go back to school. You have to learn subjects, go through the GCSEs, go through the A-levels, go through the university just to get back to where we are today. So it's like, I can say I wish I didn't, but you know, I have. So I can't change that. But like, seriously, like, I learned a lot in life, you know, from just what I thought was strength. And when you put into reality amongst the people that you really care, it's actually a weakness. It's actually a hindrance, you know, because I was the older but the youngest in mentality. There's nothing I could teach my brothers, like in terms of how to live life, because they're all successful. They're all living life. Yes, I'm doing well now, but I'm doing well now. They've been doing well for like 10, 15, 20 years. And I'm happy for them, because the thing is, that was the whole goal in the beginning. Before I came out, opened that front door and took that left instead of taking the first right, yeah, that was always the goal, to be successful. So I'm happy that, you know, when we all walked out that door, 1 went left, 4 went right. And 4 have lived right all that time. So the footsteps that they were made to follow, they never followed. Now, the footstep I was meant to guide, I'm now following. Because the thing is, it's about being productive. You know, use your strengths correctly. If your strengths can't help benefit you and leave a legacy that you could teach for generations upon generations, then it's not strength. It's just a weakness. I spent a lot of time growing up outside fighting. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been strong from young, and like a lot of the elders picked on that from early, and like for me it felt like, oh, I was special. They'll call me to come and do jobs. Oh yeah, whack him up, do this, do that, and I was getting like money, like rah. So I'm thinking, rah, my strengths, yeah. I'm thinking, I like this. It put me in a position of power. Whoa, supposed power. But I never saw the strings attached to my fingers. I never saw the strings attached to my feet. You know? Pinocchio was just doing what Geppetto got him to do. You know? And like, I never really realised that how much I was being used. Now, I had an attribute that for me was something God gave me, having that strength. But people were using it against me and weakening me down, because every time I said yes, now you're chipping away at your life. You're chipping away at your life. Somebody who's blessed with life, every day you say yes and to the wrong thing, you're taking a life away. You only get so many lives in this game. So I never really saw that until one time happened. I went to do a situation and it went kind of pear-shaped. And I found myself with a gardening fork in my back. I don't even remember what happened. I just remember fighting, and then all of a sudden I just woke up in hospital. The doctor said, if you weren't so big, you wouldn't be walking today. Now I live with the scars. And which is what a lot of my tattoos on my back are responsible for covering for me. Call it an album cover. Yeah, it's like I did all this like to please people, and I nearly lost my life. And I could tell you this, while I was in the hospital, when I finally did come round, I didn't see one familiar face. I didn't see none of them people that text me to come do this for them. I didn't see none of the people that were embracing me for being that Superman. I didn't see none of them. I just saw doctors. I saw police. Nah, I didn't go out to do these things for these people. So sometimes we put ourselves in our own sandpits, quicksand, because we want to be everybody's savior. We want to please people so much. We want that like. But sometimes we need to rewind a step and just put that like on ourselves and say, you know, I like myself too much that I can't be risking it out for somebody else. Because what you got to understand is people are calling on you and using your strengths because they're not ready to take the risk. You know, they got a family to go home to. They've seen their friends' mums crying. They've seen how their friends' mum situation. Some of them now, the mums are like, they're not the same woman that used to call auntie or mum, you know? They might have hit the bottle, they're taking drugs, or they're just like crying. They're not just they're not the person that we knew. So they don't want that for their mum. They don't want that for their dad. They don't want that for their kids. But it's all right for me to take it. Because it's okay for my mum to cry. It's okay for my brothers to cry. It's okay for even my kids that were never born to never exist. Because what? It doesn't affect them. It's easy. They don't even have to turn up to the funeral. They don't even have to come and console my mum or my brothers. They don't. Because I was macho man. You get me? I was prepared to do what it takes for the boys. You get me? For the boys, for the elders, you know. And going through life, I realised, you know what is there? These elders didn't do nothing for me. They didn't do nothing for me. Oh, you put a little money in my pocket, but the thing is, you didn't physically do nothing for me. Because when you put yourself in a position of power, yeah, you know what? That makes you give the control to somebody else to direct you, because you don't have no respect for yourself. And that position of power, yeah, when I'm talking about power, is that vulnerable power. You know? Where you don't actually understand what you have, but you put the common sense into somebody else's hands and make it their responsibility, and they try and teach you common sense through their lives and what benefits them. That's where I was. As strong as I am, as weak as I am. I lost every round on being on that street. Every round. I may have had a title, I may have had a belt, but trust me, I lost every round. And on the street, you lose every round until you come out. That's when you finally win the battle. Because every round, it takes everything from you. Just to get to that corner, it takes everything. And you get to the corner and your family's just there looking at you with like tired eyes. They're fed up of talking. They're fed up of crying. You know, some friends are just fed up of you. They've just moved on because you're not changing. Do you know? It takes a lot. It takes a lot to be where I am now. You know, I've gone from people using my strength to make me weak in terms of what I was prepared to do at the price of my own life for them, to using my strengths now to empower me. So I'm in a position where I can use my strengths to help others, not be like I was. I want people to swerve the old Frank, swerve all them people that, you know, are going to be using you for the wrong things. You don't even realize a lot of your friends sit there and they tell you like, oh bro, they tell you things on purpose. They tell you about their dramas. They tell you about little things that, you know, and not even big things. They'll tell you about just because they know that they can use you and you'll rise to the occasion. Because they know you'll rise to the occasion, so they'll tell you. Because some things don't need to be said. You know how much dramas I used to have growing up, like, to the point, like, I was starting to realise, like, you don't really need to be having these dramas, bro. We're just using people because they're around us. And we're not thinking about, when we're using people and telling people to come, we're not thinking about the house that they just left. We're not thinking about that meal at 9 o'clock that's going to be prepared by their missus or their mums at home. And the family are just waiting at the table, waiting for them to come back. And what happens if they don't come back? All that strength that you had in your chest. Let me see that same strength when you got to stand there in front of the parents and explain what's happened and how you made that bird call for them to come out. And you're the reason why there's a empty chair at the dinner table. You're the reason why there's less food being cooked every day. So what we got to realise that the strength that we think we have out here is not actually strength, it's manipulation, bro. It's manipulation, because every time you friend your friend to come out, you're manipulating them by telling them something that's happened. You understand? This thing happened to you. But you want everybody to ride out with you and risk their lives for you. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't make you a coward by just saying, you know what, whatever's whatever, innit? It doesn't make you a coward. It just gives people thinking time. Because if somebody knows your reaction and how to trigger you, you become weak. No matter what your status is, you'll become weak because they know how to get certain emotions out of you. So you got to be smart with what you give. You know, I grew up where I could be triggered by anything. You know, to a degree, I still have a little in me, but the thing is, it's more controlled. Do you know? Where before I was predictable. You know, my life story was full up of complete pages, so it was easy to read. Now, I write my story as I wake up. So nobody can't predict what Frank's going to do, what Frank you're going to get today. And that's the best way. So people can't use you then. You know, you have to be in control of your own destiny. Don't put your life in somebody's hands and expect them to love it like you do. You know, don't give away your present and expect them to hold it so you can have a good future. It's not going to work that way. Because what you don't understand, when you give away your present, that enables somebody else to enjoy their future. Because somebody has to pay the price in when you get involved in that world. And more than likely, everyone that's got home, somebody's paid the price for it. So you got to think about this. Our strengths need to be used for the right things. Our strength is waking up and being able to think carefully about our life and what we want from our life, and then sharing the message. Because you'll share a text about what girl you were seeing, how buff she was, or whatever you lot did. You'll share a text about football. You'll share a text about the weather. Let's share a text about being right, getting your life right, being focused, being a better dad, being a better mum, being a better person. Changing your life. That's a lovely text. We can make it into a group text. People don't do them things. That's a strength. But we shy away from the things that like the norm, because we become a form of institutionalized but locked in the street. So everything street is what we conform to. So you'll post everything about everything that is negative, but nobody's posting about let's be good. People can rap or talk about like things that will give them like 25 years in real life, and we salute it. But somebody will get a graduate or do something constructive. Oh yeah, well done. But that's just the end of it. That's just the end of it. Like, so we need to be more constructive, you know? You don't always have to put your life in other people's hands. Just value yourself, man. I tell you, like, I sit down, it's hard sometimes, even me to talk of myself, because I've had so many close shaves, and like, even sitting there, some of my friends remind me of situations that I even forgot about, and I'm like, rah, is this me? Because I'm so far from that world, I don't even remember half of the things. And because I don't choose to attach myself to that guy. Yes, we live in the same body, but we got different mobiles, you know? He grew up in the era where there was no internet. I'm in the era where internet is allowing me to help better the youth of today, help better people that walk in my old shoes, help better people, you know? Like, and be a better person in general. You know, we all have a lot of weaknesses. Yes, we deal with it, and like, we all make mistakes. We all fall victim at some point in our life, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in just life in general, even in relationships. You know, we allow ourselves to get like put up with things that you normally wouldn't put up with. But yet again, this goes out to the women, this goes out to men. We're not here to be nobody's victims in life. Your good nature doesn't have to be a weakness in somebody else's hands. If you're not appreciated, just don't have to be around people. Do you know what I mean? I put myself around people that I thought loved me. You know, like, growing up now and looking at it, I was like that baby that they'd never really wanted, but no, they just had around them because, you know, they'll get that check. That's how I was feeling, because you grow with people, they had you doing all kinds of shit, but at my own risk. So, yeah, you loved me because I had the benefit to you. Just like that baby you don't want, but, you know, you're getting paid from the government for the check. That's how I felt. Looking at my life now, that's how I felt. But you know what it is? You know, we live to see another day. So we just got to be like more considerate, you know, to ourselves, to our own lives, because I don't think we as people, we love each other enough. I don't think we even love ourselves enough, you know. Like, we put so much emphasis on making sure we're that best friend, or that ride or die, or the bestie, or like bona fide and all that. But how many of us can actually say we are our own best friend, our own bona fide, or our own ride or die, or our own? No, we don't. Because when you're riding out and doing all this stuff for other people, you're forgetting about yourself. Because the focus is always about the other person. Making the other person happy. But the thing is, what about yourself? Because while you're making somebody else happy, they're not worried about you. They're just lapsing it all in. So and your good nature, your strength, that helping people becomes your own weakness. Because the thing is, as you're helping more and more people and neglecting yourself, you'll be getting weaker as a person. Your mindset, your focus, where you are in life, everything gets hindered. Now, I'm not saying don't help people, but the thing is, help yourself. If you give yourself 100%, you're in a position where you can help somebody else become 100%. Learn behavior. Give yourself 100%. Then you can always teach somebody else to be 100%. Serious. Because a lot of us walk around with stories. A lot of us walk around with scars. A lot of us feel hurt in some way or the other. A lot of us have been used in some way or the other. We have. Because our strengths, which might be our caring nature, or the love that we give, or what we're prepared to do with our friend, was used. So it became our weakness. The reason why we have to live with the consequences. Your friends never have to live with no consequences, because at the end of the day, you still was your choice to put yourself on the line for whatever you went through in that relationship, on that street battle, or just in life in general. Anything you do for other people, you have a choice. You put yourself forward. So whatever you go through, you have to put your hands up and take it. Nobody's gonna put their hand up and accept it with you. Nobody's going to cry with you. Nobody's going through the pain with you. The memories I have of my friends, they don't share it with me. Because they're not here. So I'm carrying the whole burden on myself. My strength of being there to save everyone. I couldn't save nobody. So it became my weakness. Because the strength that I could have, where I could speak to them and they'll listen, I chose not to listen to even my own self. So it's a big price to pay. It's a big price to pay, because we don't really understand what we have. Just waking up every day, we don't understand what we have. Being able to just go in the kitchen and make a hot drink, or just listening to the sound of the tap, flicking the light on and off, going to the toilet, sitting in there reflecting on being alive today. We don't realise what we have. And what we got to realise, we have just them little things I've said to you. There's a lot more than a lot of people in them grave have. A lot more than a lot of your own friends that have passed have. Family members, even just associates. They don't have these things. And we do. And we still gamble with our life with these things. And just to have the luxury to go to the toilet or flick a light switch. You're ready to risk it all and never be able to flick a light switch again. I've done a lot of things in life, man. I've done so much in life, and I've never told my story. I don't never put my life out there, because it wouldn't have helped me. Just I was scared of judgment on a lot of things I've done in life, and like that became my weakness. So everything I did in life, like it built me up. This big Frank, yeah, da. But I was scared to tell people what I did because I was scared of judgment. Who am I? Am I really? I'm not really. I realize now. I realize I wasn't really that powerful guy, bro. I was powerful to the people. I was powerful to the user. I was powerful to the older. But I wasn't powerful to myself. Because everything I gained, I was scared of. I was scared of. I was a warrior on the outside and a scared kid on the inside. I was ready for war on the outside while tears were flowing on the inside. I never got to really know Frank. I used to sit down and listen to people talk about me. That's how I got to know me. Mum would tell me that you were a good kid and you did this and you did that. Like, I'm looking at Mum like, I can't relate, mate. This guy, is this the sixth son or something? Because the person you're talking about, I can't relate. I don't see that. I'm Big Frank. Yeah, like, if you need something sorted out, I'm that guy. That's what my friends are telling me. And that's what the streets have shown me. And that's what being in situations has shown me. But I was so confident in myself about who I was. I couldn't really see that the people that really know me actually knew me better than I knew myself. I was walking around with a fake ID. Because the guy I was trying to be and the guy I molded into was not me. Same name, same dress code, same size, IC3, Hazel Eyes, but it just wasn't me. Because the man I am today is the man my mum was talking about all those years ago when I was 12, 13. Before I took that left turn. That's who I am. The man that my mum was talking about all those years ago. You know, the one that she used to talk about and smile about. My mum still has her little ways, but she can smile about her son now, Frank. She gives thanks to God every day for my life now. She still have her little reservations, still ask me a few questions, but I guess that comes with the game, innit? That comes with the game. You can't erase a lifetime with a few years. But I'm not here to try and fix a whole lifetime. I'm just here to make a change from this point on. Because my past is my past. Just like all of you people out there, let today be your past. Let today be your past. And from today, let's start walking in the right path. Let's start putting some respect in our life. Let's start living. You haven't even seen everything, man. I'm seeing things that like are wild now. Like I never saw growing up. Because I grew up too fast. Life would just put me in some crazy fast lane. Like I couldn't even tell you who my neighbours were. Because I was moving so fast. You know, you're constantly on the go. And when you get into that world, you can't afford to be slow. Because slow means you become an easy target. So it was like Usain Bolt all the way. Usain Bolt all the way. You have to be on your toes all the time. Now I live good. Life is good. I've opted for the Mo Farah shoes, you know. I'm just taking my time, just doing the laps. Yeah.
Before we go to your goods, I was gonna ask, what if you could tell us, have you got any examples of some of your like weakest points in your life, or where you felt the weakest, where you haven't had sort of any control? Um, yeah, because like personally, I was just thinking about the courtroom for as an example. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah. I remember when I was going to court and the first time. Now they were just trying to. I got done for something, and they were just trying to put charges upon charges on me. And my solicitor said, "Yeah, you should be alright. If you plead guilty, you get a 12." And I sat back and I thought, "Pardon? What are you talking about?" And I'm sitting there, I'm calculating like, right. I would have been the age I am today. So in that time, I had my last two kids. I would have never had them. And I'm sitting there and I've never felt so vulnerable in my whole life. I've never prayed so hard in my life. But I'm saying like, but you weren't praying when you're doing all the nonsense. You were a bad guy, you know what I mean? You were that guy, innit? You said you thought you were that guy. People were hailing you up. So now like I realised, you know, my CV is only for the streets. It can't help me when I really need help. So I was sitting there, I'll go home, almost like tearful, because you know what it is, yeah? We're full of smiles when we're doing these things, but when the judge when the solicitor is meant to be on my side is telling me, yeah, it should be, if you get out, you look at 12, do 8. I said 8. Why are you even talking about these numbers? My daughter's not even 8. Like, you want to sentence me to a number that my daughter hasn't even reached yet. You want to sentence me to an age that my son hasn't even reached yet. I'm like, every strength that I had, everything I've ever done in my life, at that point, I just regretted everything. I wish I could just, Michael J. Fox, you know, go back in time and just rewrite it again. I would have just sat down and listened to mum. I would have never even gone out of the house. So I was sitting there thinking like, bruh, all these people that depended on me now, look. All these people I had in my corner, now look. If I do this, if I do get 12, how, like, my friends are still going to be there for me? All the ones that used to text me to come out and do little things for me, would they even come and see me? Who's going to look after my missus? Who's going to look after the kids? Who's going to be paying for this? Who's going to be doing what I was doing? Can I ask somebody to sit around for that long? You know, in the beginning, they'll always say they'll do it, but the thing is, really and truly, it's not their decision to make. It's not their decision to make. It's for you to tell them, listen, I fucked up your life. I fucked up my life. So by all means, like, the door's open for you. Because if I had a daughter and her man's just doing 12 years for something that's nothing to do with her, am I meant to tell her just don't elevate yourself, just hang around? I get the loyalty. I get that ride or die. I get, oh, you did this and did that. But listen, you also made the mess. So acknowledge that. You know? Acknowledge that. Why would you want someone you love so much to just sit at home and be in pain for so long? So I sat there and things didn't end up being like that, you know. Couple years, I thought, oh yeah, I could do this. But just 2 years away from people, 3 years, even one day away from the kids, it's like that one day felt like 10 years. It felt like 10 years. Because you don't appreciate people until they take them away from you. Like, I just sit in a cell and I used to just write letters every single, I think I must have written over 1,000 letters. Like, I'm writing so many letters to my kids and missus and family. And I was just outside. I could have just spoke to them on the phone or just told them the same thing without the A4 paper. I put my whole feelings, my whole emotions, how much I cared about them on a piece of paper for somebody to read and verify it before they send it out. My most intimate thoughts were being read by somebody and then send it out to my loved ones. When I was outside and I could have just communicated to them without having to have my words verified by nobody. I could have told them the same thing without the prison sentence. You know, I'm lucky to have a supportive family. You know, like, so Joe just made me better in aspects because I just wanted to get out and be back with my family, but Joe actually just enhanced me because for me, Joe's about just, it's the same street mentality. So I still had to be like mindful of myself. I still had to remember my strengths and be able to like command the place. Do you know what I mean? I still kept that street mentality. So the thing is, jail was easy. I'm not going to lie and say it was hard. It wasn't. Did I enjoy it? Like, I met good people in there. Do you know? Like, one of my good friends now is still like one of my best friends to this day, you know. He guided me the right way, you know. We went through chapters of our life and we both rewrit them together. Now he's doing something positive, I'm doing something positive. I've got another one of my pals, they're doing positive. So like, it taught us a lot, but being in jail, you had to go through a lot. And I found myself having to use my strengths again, where people in situations and like, I've gone back in time again to where the elders would just use me because I could look after myself. But these times now, there's no elders. I'm one of the elders, but the thing is, people will naturally just come to me, Frank, they need help with this. Native, nah, this one's doing this. And I just took it upon myself again. So yet again, I'm putting my life on the risk for other people. Now my strength is like, I'm a loving person. Yeah. My mum always says to me this. She calls me Ikem, which is Ike is my real name, Ikem. Ikem, the people see you like a giant, but they feed you like an ant. I said, what do you mean, Mum? He said, listen, you're a giant. So when you have a giant, people know how to use a giant. But they know that your heart is soft, so they don't have to pay you much. They don't have to give you much for you to do to act like that giant that you are. They don't have to give you much. When I sit down and she broke it down to me, I'm saying like, that's my whole life, you know. I've just been a giant working for free. And people gravitate you, Big Frank. They love you. They love you because the thing is, they know what they're getting with you. Sometimes it even makes you question your, you know, you got loyal friends, but it even makes you question them. You know, when they're being nice to you, you think like, rah, all right, sooner or later you're gonna get into trouble, or you're gonna phone me, innit? Like, and it's not good that you think like that. But the thing is, this is part of the game, you know, where your strength becomes a weakness because you're constantly looking at people the wrong way, and not everybody's like an older. Do you know what I mean? So now I've become like an older for myself. But this older's not going to guide myself down the wrong route. This guide was going to tell, you know, the older that's changed his life around and should be talking to them kids. I'm going to be that older for myself, and I'm talking to this kid here that you need to get on the right path. Stay on this path that you're doing. It's a beautiful thing. You know, you got so much to offer. You got lovely kids. Teach them the right words, you know what I mean? The right ways, you know. Teach them the right words so and they know how to respect themselves in public, you know. Teach them what is needed. If you can help save the world outside, save the world outside. Don't just ignore anybody. Because even though you say like the elders, they use you wrongly, they still saw a value in you. So you were still valuable, but the thing is, you were just that diamond in the wrong hand. Because you see, when you put diamond in the wrong hand, some people just see it as benefit. They think, all right, you know what, let me sell this and I can get money from it. The benefit. Whereas other people, like a family, would cherish it and say, like, you know what, if I look after this, it's gonna be worth. This becomes priceless if I keep it with me. That's an eternity of riches. Because what this diamond has to offer can change lives. So that's what I need everyone to be, that diamond. You know, that diamond, just put yourself, you're all diamonds, but just put yourself in the right hands. You know, not everybody out there, even the ones that love you and that do the most for you, is for you. Understand that? Yeah. Not everybody is made to sit at your table, but it doesn't mean you can't prepare a table to help them. But not everyone can sit at your table. And remember, I grew, well, I was telling you before, like, my brothers are different. They're all academic. They're all, like, 10 years deep in their fields. Doctors, business management, professional footballers, RIP, like, and stockbrokers. They're deep in their fields. They've done well in life, you know? Like, so I'm happy for them. I'm just happy that I can actually be happy now. I'm happy for them, but I'm just happy that I can be happy now. It's a lot for me to be happy. I smile a lot, I laugh a lot, but I've never been happy, but I'm actually happy now. Being able to sit down stress-free, not having to worry about nothing. Yeah, you still get your little ups and downs, little headaches here and there, but the thing is, like, I'm at peace. It's taken me like 40 years to find that right path that I could have just done when I was younger, but it's a journey, you know. Some journeys teach a lot of people how to walk, where to walk, and add purpose to the walk. I just see my journey as one of them, you know. I may have hindered myself a little bit, but you know what? I've added a lot of positives to people that are ready to take the messaging. You know, we all make mistakes. I keep saying it, but you know, a mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from the lesson. Attend the class. Take in all the notes from that mistake, and make sure you graduate so you can enjoy life the right way. You know, everybody has a weakness. Everybody has a weakness. Some of your weakness is your kids, but the thing is, if your weakness is your kids, don't put yourself in a position where you can't protect them. If your weakness is your family, don't put yourself in a position where you can't protect them, or you can't be around them, or you can't see them. Because the strength that you saw in your dad and your mum will turn to weakness if you're not around. The strength that you see in your kids and the smile that you see in your kids is so much character and passion. Will turn to a lifetime of pain if you're not around. There's no need to create weaknesses in other people when you have so much strength to give. You were not put on earth just to go to the grave through violence. No mother put their child on earth to be murdered, or to put themselves frontline and risk being murdered, or risk having them go early and having us to worry about funeral arrangement. No mother did that. No dad risked working 10 jobs and this and that just to put shoes on your foot just for you to throw your life away. The hours that these parents put in just to put a plate on your table for you to eat, just to have the shoes that they couldn't afford, but because you were demanding it, they went and done it. All them hours that they put into you, and you put that into your friend on the street, and prepared to risk it all the hard work they've done, building you to be the man that they want you to be, for you to just throw it away, give it to your friend. Everything they've built in you, you just giving it to your friend. Yeah, you hold Frank. Now you tell Frank whatever you want to tell Frank. He's gonna conform to what you say, because Frank don't know himself. Frank's bona fide, ride or die. Listen, I ain't got no ride or dies, because none of my friends need to die for anything stupid that I done. You know, my friends need to live and elevate. My friends have all got kids. You need to be there for your kids. You need to be there for your families. Ride or die. Why is it always ride or die that we celebrate? What about like live and rise? Yeah, I got the live and rises as well, man. Live and rise. You know? People that choose life. Yeah, that choose life and want to elevate. You know? Teach the next generation what life is really about. We want to give them keys, the right keys, to open up doors. Not keys that will lead them to behind doors. You know? We want to give them keys to open up doors to opportunities that they've never seen before, that they didn't even know that existed. And that's the strength that you have, because you have experience. You've lived a life they haven't lived yet. But you make it a weakness when you encourage them to do wrong. You make them a weakness when you encourage them to do wrong, because the thing is, when things go wrong, you ain't going to go and correct it. You're not standing in front of nobody's mum. You're not. You're not even standing in front of their kid. You're not standing in front of nobody. The big man. I run the city. I run the ends. But I'm scared of the mum. I'm scared to face the mum. I'm scared to face the son, because I can't deal with the tears. Because I know it's real deep around that where they are. And I'm not a good swimmer, because everything over there is underwater from the tears that have been shed. It's deep like that. So we're going to use our strengths, you know. I've been helping out in a centre run by a powerful black woman called Joyce Lynn, Rise36 on Instagram. And like, it's given me a little bit of a purpose. Because I'm seeing young kids like that are my age that have taking that right where I took the left. And they're serving the community. Like, they're feeding the elders in their area. You know, back in the day where, you know, you would actually help your people cross the road and help people with shopping. This is what they're doing. And I'm sitting in there and I'm thinking like, wow. Like, I'm actually seeing role models in these kids. I wish these kids were around when I was their age, because they could have saved me from going through all this hell. Powerful kids. Powerful. Like, there's a load of them, but like there's a few that stand out for me. Jermaine, Marvin, Razak. Like, whew, powerful individuals, you know? They've been through life, they've got a story, but the thing is, their story has never hindered them. The story now is got nothing but testimonies. They're helping change lives. This is what we all should have been doing all those years ago when we're dead, breaking lives and sending people to the funeral parlours. These young kids are standing up. And it's all voluntary. They're not getting paid to do it. They're choosing to do it. Like, even what I did in life, I was paid to do it. Like, I wouldn't do it, I couldn't even do it voluntary, but these kids are changing lives voluntary. There's so many of them, I can't even name them all. But from Gladys, Faith, there's so many beautiful people. Like, they make me really look at life with a lot of regret, you know. Because I'm thinking, if these lot stay on this journey, by the time they get to my age, that's legendary status. Because I already look at them as legends. And they're 16 and 17. I'm in awe of young kids. But the thing is, because they're doing the right thing. So there is hope out there. We just got to put the right message. Use our strengths for the right reasons. You know, our strengths doesn't need to be someone else's weakness. You know, like, use it for the right reasons. These kids are out here giving everything to strengthen this community, build that trust back in the community. I see the way that older generation comes in the food shop, bang, and they embrace them like their own kids. And they're even shocked to see them sometimes, because the thing is, they're not used to kids like helping, because everyone wants to be bad, man. So you're not even remembering that these people are nothing to do with your situation. But the thing is, a bad man means bad to everybody. But these kids, they're stronger than any kid out there. Shall I tell you why? Because they've taken it on themselves to get to know themselves. And they're walking in their truth. Do you know how strong it takes of an individual to be themselves? When the world is telling you to do this and do that, and you choose to be yourself. You choose to ignore the calls from the streets, from outside, all your friends, just to be yourself and do something different. That adds purpose, that makes you stand out. May mean that you have to walk alone. Powerful. If you're not following them, please, at Rise 365, powerful movements. They've given me back a new purpose in life. These kids is what we're trying to create. Just copy and paste all around the world. They're beautiful kids. And this is what I'm saying. There is hope. I know people look at kids and say they're too far gone. Or people in the game say, I'm too old to get out. I can't do nothing else. I'm 44. I'm working. I'm feeding my kids. I'm able to get what I need to get. I'm sitting down by the grace of the Lord every single day and being grateful for life. There is more opportunities out there. Do you know? If you need an exit plan, come and sit down. We can try and just work out something for you. I'm here to help because I came out of the game while I still could. Don't make life take you out the wrong way. People, don't let your strengths be somebody else's weakness in their hand to manipulate you. Love yourself, learn yourself, teach yourself, make yourself the self that you're meant to be. Kings and queens. Love every time.